finding an Easter egg in a video game can be oh so satisfying, to the point where some players, myself included, actively search the maps of our favorite games seeking them out. Sometimes those Easter eggs come in the form of hidden messages, ones that you have to dig for, or ones that are right in front of your face. So today we're taking a look at some of the most intriguing ones with our list of the top 10 hidden messages found in video games. At number 10, Donkey Kong LMD. Back in the early days of developing video games for home consoles, it was fairly common that many of the individuals who worked on the games would go unaccredited. So sometimes developers would sneak their names into the game anyway, typically their initials, which would often appear when something was triggered in the gameplay. The most infamous of this is the initials snuck into the 1993 Atari Donkey Kong game, LMD, standing for Landon M. Dyer, who ported the game for the Atari 400 and 800 pretty much entirely on his own. Dyer had tipped people off about the Easter egg in a blog post, and eventually it was discovered that if you completed a series of seemingly arbitrary tasks, it would appear on the game's title screen. And at number 9, Uncharted 3, The Last of Us reference. Developer Naughty Dog has become known to produce some of the best games out there, including the Uncharted franchise and The Last of Us, which is soon to also be a franchise. They also were known for notoriously working on one game at a time, but that changed with The Last of Us. Naughty Dog had kept the game's development under wraps between 2009 and 2011, which was no easy feat. It was officially announced as their next project at the Spike Video Game Awards in 2011 after viral marketing had been making the rounds for the game, with no developer attached. Part of the effectiveness of the marketing was the mystery. People knew that it was a game that had to do something with a deadly fungus, but little more than that was revealed prior. Turns out in Uncharted 3, they actually did give away the secret of who was making this game. In a bar in Uncharted 3, there's a newspaper that you can find that reads, "Scientists are still struggling to understand deadly fungus," which kinda gives it away that Naughty Dog was behind the game, except people didn't think it was them because of that whole one game at a time shtick. And at number 8, Halo 3 birthday message. This hidden message took fans years to discover. Turns out if you set your clock on your Xbox to December 25th and toggle the joysticks of your controller while in the main menu of Halo 3, another screen will appear containing a ring that has an inscription on it. It reads, "Happy birthday, Lauren," which was a sweet message from one of the game's developers to his wife. Up next at 7, Dead Space, Nicole is Dead. Spoilers. A survival horror game set in space, Dead Space follows the story of a ship systems engineer named Isaac. The player must navigate your way through the infested mining starship and fight off the reanimated corpses of the ship's crew who have been taken over by creatures called necromorphs. You're also trying to reach your girlfriend, a medical officer named Nicole, but the game has a hidden message about Nicole's fate. She's been dead the whole time, but if you look at the first letter of each of the level's titles, you'll notice that they spell out Nicole is dead. And at 6, Half-Life 2, Headcrabs. Alright, this one's pretty disturbing. Headcrab zombies make an appearance in both the first and second Half-Life games, being primarily present in the second during the Ravenholm level. What makes this level so memorable is that the headcrabs are practically infesting it, and they have one trait that is rather bone-chilling, their wail. Fans of the game may note that their wails have some semblance to a human cry. Turns out if you take the audio of this wail and reverse it, the headcrabs are crying out, "Dear God, help," and "Help me," which only implies that the humans who the headcrabs have latched onto are fully aware of the horrible thing happening to them, and are in a lot of pain. And at 5, Sonic CD, Satan. If you've watched any of our Sonic themed videos on this channel, or you're a big fan of the franchise in general, there's a good chance you're quite familiar with the hidden screens that you can unlock in Sonic CD, mostly with additional concept art and other Easter eggs. One screen in particular is known for being quite creepy. It features a humanoid Mario-esque crossbreed Sonic, paneling the background, with the phrase, "Infinite Fun, Sega Enterprises," signed Majin, which can translate into the word devil. Except turns out that Majin is actually the nickname for one of the developers. Still a pretty funny hidden message from the makers of the game though. And at number 4, Wasteland 2, The Big Red Button. When you see a big red button, your natural instinct is usually to just press it, right? Or is that just me? I mean, like, how can you resist? Well, in Wasteland 2, a post-apocalyptic RPG from 2014, much of the story is dependent on the choices you make, with all of your choices impacting the world, which is why it got quite the positive reviews. One of those choices comes in the form of a big red button. But when you press it, all that happens is your screen shakes. Talk about anticlimactic, right? But that wasn't enough for some people. A Kotaku journalist pressed the creators, no pun intended, to let the public know what happened in the game. The button must have had some effect, but even after a year of the game's release, no one online had figured out what. Turns out it opens a secret location on the main map. If you go there, you meet a man named Aaron Schwat, who isn't the most pleasant fellow. If you ignore his instructions to get lost, you'll find another big red button. Press that one, your screen shakes again, and Schwat freaks out at you. He says that you've doomed everyone, and then runs away. So Why does this matter? Aaron Schwartz was a real-life comedian who went by the name Red Buttons, so it was all just a big elaborate Easter egg reference. In at 3, Arkham City: The Calendar Man. Arkham City is arguably the best superhero video game to date. While Asylum ushered in a new age of gaming with bats, Arkham City brought the experience to a whole other level, and included some incredibly memorable and challenging interactions with the villains of Batman's rogue gallery. One in particular, though, eluded some players for a while: the Calendar Man. After 3 years of no one publicly announcing that they had figured it out, developers Rocksteady released the hidden message themselves. If you set your console's date to December 13, 2004, which just so happens to be the day Rocksteady was founded, the Calendar Man references his early work, which is a reference to Rocksteady's early work with the Arkham universe. He then goes on to say that he was there at the beginning and will also be there at the end, which is actually pretty true because in the last scene of Arkham Knight, he does make an appearance in the background. Up next, number 2, no Easter eggs from GTA San Andreas. GTA is known for its satire and sense of humor, even when it comes to their Easter eggs. So out of all of the games on this list, this hidden message is the most rewarding, in an ironic way of course. In GTA San Andreas, if you get yourself a jetpack and fly all the way to the top of the Gant Bridge, you'll find a sign that reads, "There are no Easter eggs here, go away." And finally, in our number 1 spot, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, the Konami Helpline. What could top the cheekiness of that GTA hidden message? Well, one that is meta as f***. Silent Hill Shattered Memories is a remake of the original game, and features a whole lot of psychological mind f***s, all of which, depending on how you navigate them, will affect the world around you and your game's outcome. One of the tools you have to make use of in the game is your cell phone, and if you're paying attention, you'll notice that certain areas have unique phone numbers living on posters in the world, and you can actually call these numbers, one of which is the Konami Helpline. The best part, once the operator realizes that you're calling from Silent Hill, she says, I quote, "I regret to inform you that you are beyond even our help." Alright, there we have it friends. Which of these hidden messages have you found? Were there ones on this list that you had no idea existed? Let us know in those comments below. In addition to that, if you dug this video, please show us some love by hitting that like button, and why not subscribe and hang out with us some more? We've got a bunch of other great videos that you should check out, like the ones in the playlist flashing on your screen right now. In the meantime, thanks for watching everybody. I've been Kelly Pally and this is Top 10 Gaming. Catch you all in the next one.